Good morning. This is New Hampshire Today. I am Chris Ryan. This hour of the show brought to you by Manchester Boston Regional Airport. Excited to have with us right now retired Brigadier General and Republican nominee for the U.S. Senate, Don Bolduc. Good morning, General Bolduc.
Good morning, Chris. I hope you're well, and I hope your listeners are all well.
Appreciate you joining us. So let's start here. We announced this in the 6 o'clock hour. You have accepted 7 general election debate invitations, including the iHeartRadio New Hampshire Today Union Leader and New England College debate, which will be on October the 25th at 6 p.m. inside the Putnam Center at New England College. We're excited you're going to be joining us. Of course, Senator Hassan has announced he'll be a part of 3 debates. This has not been one of them to date. What are your takeaways from Senator Hassan's lack of willingness to participate in more debates than what she has originally set as her number?
Well, I think the reality is set in that, going toe-to-toe with me on the real issues of the economy, out-of-control spending, the border crisis, opioid crisis, and the many other crises that we're putting Granite Staters and Americans through is settling in, right? And she is an incumbent that just doesn't want to talk to Granite Staters. She's demonstrated that over the last 5.5 years. This is what I hear everywhere across the political spectrum. Where is she? Why isn't she out here? And so, we're going to participate in every debate. And, if it takes us out on the street corner with her, at public events, we'll do it there. But this is the essence of accountability, demonstrating responsibility, being transparent, and, telling the truth. And right now she, is not willing to do that. She hides behind ads, and, she's just not out there. And we did this during the primary. We were out there 2 years, every town and city, and she's just not doing that. And I think this is indicative of that.
As I've said before, I draw no financial or really any benefit at all from doing the debates we did during the primary election and here. In fact, it's a significant undertaking. But I feel that it is incredibly important for candidates to address the important issues with one another and with Granite Staters in a public way, because otherwise we are going to lose one of the great New Hampshire advantages, and that is having political figures who are accessible to voters. Once you become an elected official, that does not create an environment in which you can remove yourself and that you are entitled. In fact, it is the exact opposite. You're supposed to engage more with individuals, listen to people, what their problems are, and debate them. And if we allow for political figures to move off into their various silos and speak only to the individuals that believe what they believe on a consistent basis, we're going to lose everything that we have here in New Hampshire from a democracy perspective, and we're going to have entrenched politicians like in Washington, in Massachusetts, who just live in Washington. So to me, this is an important issue in that I feel that all the candidates need to engage on a consistent basis, and just because you're elected does not make you entitled to not address voters and the public in a consistent way. If we fight these elections via ads, we're screwed. And we have lost everything that we have in regard to that small community town hall type of feel that makes New Hampshire special.
Chris, I couldn't have said it any better. And you hit the nail right on the head. I probably have done over, well over 100 house visits with people, right? And I meet people that have moved from moved to New Hampshire all over the world and all over this country. And what they say to me is they're amazed that they can sit in a living room in their neighborhood at a house party of their friends, whether they're Republican, Independent, Democrat, or whatever, and sit down and talk to a Senate candidate, someone running for the United States Senate, somebody running in a primary or a general election. He said, I came from California. My wife came from the Ukraine. That's not happening in the Ukraine, and it certainly doesn't happen in California, but it can happen here. And to your point, that is quintessentially what makes New Hampshire different. And that's why New Hampshire, first in the primary, is so important. No other state really can bring this type of advantage where you can actually talk to your elected representative and those that want to serve you and get the straight answers from them as they stand side by side with each other, answering the questions that are important to the people, listening and learning from them. You know, being an elected official, it's kind of the opposite. You don't lead from the top down, you lead from the bottom up. And It's about listening and learning.
No, I totally agree. And, you know, you may have a particular position on abortion or a particular position on taxation, and somebody else may have a different one. The same as Senator Hassan. And the important thing about going out in public and engaging with your opposition is so that you can hear different perspectives. It's not good from a political perspective. No operative wants to have their boss, challenged at an event in public by somebody who has a differing viewpoint. But it's important for you to hear differing viewpoints so that you can understand the impacts of things. And nobody likes being, addressed in a way where they hear the real pain of somebody or the pain that they potentially caused. But that's what a public servant is supposed to do. Instead of running and hiding behind ads and not doing public events or running away from constituents at events when they want to address them on immigration. That is not how this is supposed to work. And if we buy into this as a media and a public, it will work this way. And it'll just be far left, far right silos where people hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And my experience in the military, particularly as a general officer working in 3/4 of the countries of the world, I had to go and listen to what U.S. policy and strategy and how that was impacting in both positive and negative ways. And it is very difficult to see, something that a policy or strategy does that hurts people. But you have to be strong enough to stand up to that. And, you mentioned the abortion issue, and every single one of her ads is a lie. And I really feel bad, and I'm sad for the people that she presents in her ads that don't characterize what I believe. And, that is the federal government is out of it. It's a state issue, and that's where it stands. And our state has a law. Senator Shaheen agrees. She actually disagrees with Senator Hassan's position. And, this is keep the federal government out of our business. But she consistently put ads out there that lies and characterizes me as some kind of monster when that's not true at all. And so we will have our chance, and it'll be on the debate stage. And we will also have our chance as we counter her ads. But this is a sad thing, presenting lies and not going with the truth and taking on the candidate based off of what the candidate believes and not trying to influence people with, millions and millions of dollars of ads that don't even come from Granite Staters, comes from out of state.
Final thing, we got a minute left here. Early polls have shown you behind in this race, which is not too much of a surprise to you, I'm sure. You were counted out completely in regard to the primary contest. What is your sense about where you sit now and how you take some of the things you've learned from that contest to have success in this one?
Yeah, well, we're obviously going to take our bottom-up structure and keep putting that in place, keeping that in place. It's our advantage over her. She doesn't have that kind of structure because she's been absent and hasn't invested in it. And we'll compete with her with top down, with the fundraising that we're doing. That obviously is going very well at this time. And so we'll compete with that, it's just, for me, working hard and getting out there every single day and talking to Granite Staters across the board and being accessible. There's no big secret to this. It's very easy. We're going to do what she's not doing. We're going to be accountable, responsible, transparent, and we're going to tell the truth. And so, I feel very strong about where we sit right now. The numbers in the polls were not unexpected. We're right there neck and neck with her, and we're going to continue to work hard. And come election day, we're going to win.
General Bolduc, as always, appreciate your time. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate your time. Bless you, and God bless to all your listeners.
Don Bolduc joining us here on New Hampshire Day. He'll be on stage at the New England College Putnam Center on October the 25th at 6 p.m. for our U.S. Senate debate. I am Chris Ryan. This is New Hampshire Today.